I'm Amos, host of Undaunted, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual host. Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready, because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 280 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, recorded live on Sunday, October 1st, 2017. It's the spooky month, guys.
It's spoopy out. Too spoopy for me.
Ooh.
Too spoopy for me.
What was that?
It was spooky.
I prefer that voice over Reverend Willie, though, so I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
No comment there? Nothing?
I agree.
Ooh.
So, welcome everyone to the show. We've got a relatively full show for you, and I'm happy to say that all four of us are here. So if you're new to the show, I'm Chris. Joining me today, as per usual, the one, the only, Willie D. Nelson.
Apparently getting hated on already.
What? That would never happen.
Why would
I
you
don't
get
know.
hate?
I don't see any
What
I
do
don't
you
know if
think
you
so?
tell me, Naki.
Because you earn it.
Yes, and you might have noticed that Naki and Anthony Bachman are here as well. I'm not going to intro them since they already spoke.
Oh, well, shit.
That's right, damn it.
I mean,
Plus you guys know not as unique a name as Willie Nelson.
And
I'm a Naki.
Chris, you're taking away the hate from me today. Yay.
As unique a name? Whatever.
My name is Naki. The only other thing that I've known a Naki from is from Tokyo Ghoul, which they totally ripped off of me.
Did they rip it off from you? Are you going to sue them now?
Yes. Obviously, I'm poor. Come on now.
And this is America, damn it.
America.
You can sue anybody for anything, bitch.
Yep.
Oh, Scary Terry bit. Sorry. I'm in a Rick and Morty funk. Because I just realized that tonight is the season finale of Rick and Morty, so now I have to wait like 2 years for more episodes, probably.
Like a year
Aw,
and a
bitch.
half.
There'll be more episodes, bitch.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, me and my friends do that all the time.
I love that show. It's one of my favorite episodes of all time. On the show, that is. Not of, like, all TV programs of all time. But hey, what's going on, guys? Anything good happening so far this weekend?
Oh,
I have news for Willie.
Uh-oh.
Yay.
I beat Undertale twice.
Oh, yeah, I saw on Facebook.
I did the neutral run, and then I did the not the genocide, the pacifist run. And so now today I believe I'm going to start the genocide run.
Murder everyone.
That's the plan. I really don't want to because I really like all these characters. But
And news for everybody, I did not get Undertale and beat it before Naki.
I was hoping, but I figured it'd take like 3 days to download on your internet, so...
Yeah, probably.
Naki,
Naki, that's why you do the murder run first. You kill everybody before you learn anything about them.
You can't, because then you get the soulless pacifist run, which is a different ending.
Okay.
Oh, well, that sucks.
I think it is. I don't actually know if it's a different ending. There's a rumor that it is, if it's the soulless run, but...
Well, now here's a question. For your ending, the pacifist ending, did you have to play through it all over again, or did you just reload your save? And
So you have to play the neutral ending to get the pacifist ending, because it's another step past the neutral ending.
so you had to replay the whole game again?
Mm-mm. It's from... They load you back to the screen where you start the true pacifist ending. So, like, when you reload your save file from the neutral ending, it'll load you not in a screen that you were expecting to load into.
So it's like a continuation. It's not like you have to redo anything.
You're technically redoing the ending. It's technically a redo.
So you have to replay the final boss.
Right.
Okay.
Right. You have to replay the end again. Essentially. You don't have to put it all, like, as I put in, like, I think it said like 536 minutes, so whatever that would be. You don't have to replay all of that.
Whatever.
You
You get to kill everybody now.
If you want, I can go in and kill everybody. I'm kind of mad on doing it just because I like all these characters so much that I'm like, I don't really want to kill everybody now.
They're not real, Naki. Just kill them. Kill them.
Why are you so angry, Willie?
I'm not angry. I just want people to die. You have to be angry for that to happen.
That's true.
Speaking
Why
of
is so much
angry-
hate in you?
Speaking of angry, did anyone here watch Star Trek Discovery?
I've heard that it was pretty good, but I didn't actually get to watch it.
Anyone here? So, for those that aren't familiar, Star Trek Discovery is the long-delayed Star Trek series that CBS decided to air episode 1 of a 2-part pilot on TV and then put the rest on their streaming service for you to watch.
I've heard
You
a
have to
lot
pay-
of people salty over that.
Yeah, I'm
Is
one
there-
of them. It's why I didn't bother watching it, because I'm not going to pay $6 to $10 a month for another service where I don't want to watch
That's what I was
one
going to
show.
ask.
I've heard a lot of Star Trek fans say that the Orville's really good because they're not paying to watch fucking Discovery.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's what we were talking about in the chat room, and it was Sailor Poland that started this thought, because we opened the show talking about things that were going on. He goes, well, at least you're not having to wait for real good Trek. And I said, well, actually, the Orville is basically that. Does anyone watch the Orville in here besides me?
Nope.
I watched one episode randomly. I think it was like episode 3 where they got stuck in a zoo.
That's episode 2, actually. Episode 3.
Episode 2. Okay.
Episode 3 is where it actually starts to feel more Trek-like. The first 2 episodes of the Orville weren't great. So basically, here's how you look at it: is the Orville is basically like Seth MacFarlane's Star Trek fanfic that has some comedy in it. That's the best way of putting it. The characters are very Star Trek-like. It has the same kind of camera transitions and breaks before commercial breaks that you saw in Star Trek The Next Generation, where like something dramatic happens, it'll zoom in on someone's face and they play the orchestral sound as it fades off in the commercial, things like that. It feels very much like Trek. I actually like it, guys. I didn't think I would like it that much, but it's a Seth MacFarlane thing that doesn't make me just roll my eyes anymore, like you do now with Family Guy and things.
I was gonna say I have such I have a problem with Seth MacFarlane and the fact that, you know, Family Guy is terrible, but at the same time he also brought back Cosmos, so it's like I am feeling very torn on him because it's like I really love Cosmos.
So you're hating on him for just making one thing?
No. Like I have
People
a
are
slew of problems.
complex.
I have a slew of problems with Seth MacFarlane. Like he's got a history of being misogynistic and all this stuff.
I mean, I know was it A Million Ways to Die in the West wasn't that good, but I mean, damn.
So don't watch it for him. Watch it for Adrian Palicki.
She's been pretty fun in it too, but I will
She's
say,
hilarious.
I was talking with Steven this week from the Gonna Geek Network, the president of the Gonna Geek Network, if you remember correctly, and we were talking about how the Orville is actually kind of turned into a pretty good show. The first 2 shows weren't great, but episode 3 and 4, that's when it started playing a bit more with its Trek background and getting you to some of those Star Trek typical episodes where some moral quandary happens and they have to try and figure it out, and the resolution not always great, but you kind of get that Star Trek lesson learned, blah 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 blah. But it's actually been pretty good. It's Trek-like with some dumb comedy thrown in from time to time. But even Seth MacFarlane has said this isn't a comedy when people keep trying to bill it that way. So if you miss Star Trek, give it a try. It's pretty good.
I see in the commercials I saw, Fox is trying to preview it as a comedy.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand, is they're trying to push this comedy aspect. And yes, there are funny moments in it, but it's an homage to Star Trek. That's what this is. This feels very much, and I know I've said this before, like TNG. It feels like you're watching an episode of TNG.
It's probably because it's Seth MacFarlane and they don't know what the fuck else to do with him.
That's true. I mean, remember, MacFarlane's a big Star Trek fan. It's a love letter to Trek.
Well, that also could put in Anthony's remake argument though into there then too, right? Where it's never mind. I had a train of thought and I lost it halfway through it coming out of my mouth.
I was gonna say I've had a lot of arguments
no.
about remakes, so I'm not sure which point you're going towards.
Just that it's Star Trek with somebody else.
It's
So
Star
it's like-
Trek because they won't make real Star Trek anymore.
Right. So it's Star Trek with somebody else, which you could technically argue it's a remake then.
Yeah, and
Because they don't have any original ideas.
If it's because it's definitely not an original idea. It's a crew of aliens going through space on adventures. That's definitely not an original idea. But at the same time, if you want to call it a remake, it's not withholden to any of the Roddenberry rules because it's not Star Trek. So then that kind of loosens things up, and McFarlane can do whatever the fuck he wants with it, which apparently is making for a better show than the actual new Star Trek. Which it just makes me sad for Doug Jones. Well, Doug Jones finally got like a starring role, and people are shitting on his new show.
To be fair, I haven't watched it yet. Now, Steven did watch it, and a few other folks have, and I didn't watch it mostly because I was taking a moralistic stand to make myself feel better about something, not necessarily because I didn't want to watch Trek.
And save $8.
Well, basically, what I plan on doing is once the run is done, is using my free 1-week trial of CBS All Access and binge watching it, assuming they keep the entire back catalog on there. Because I was listening to another show where what CBS All Access has done in the past is, say you want to watch The Big Bang Theory or some other CBS thing, it's just the last 5 episodes that's on CBS All Access. Go figure. A service called All Access
is not All Access.
For the current seasons, it's not always All Access, I guess. So we'll see what happens
shitty.
with Star Trek Discovery. I am not buying a service that's built upon saying, hey, you're a Star Trek fan, buy our service for this one show.
Hulu does that too.
But Hulu has a variety of other shows I might care about.
Well, and also Hulu, like their 5-episode thing, that was what all of their original contracts were.
True.
And so a lot of those shows have ended, and it's either now like Lucifer, where you have like the whole first 2 seasons on there, or other shows where you have nothing because they lost the contract and didn't renew it. But yeah, I think that 5-episode thing was originally Hulu's contract with everybody because they had all the CW shows on there. They would have the last 5 episodes.
Well, and also bear in mind on Star Trek Discovery, it's kind of an FU to us in North America. If you don't live in the continental United States or Canada, it's available on Netflix. Yeah, because Netflix paid money. So, like, if you're in Mexico and you pull up your Netflix, you can watch Star Trek Discovery there. If you're in the UK, so there's a lot of people that might be using VPNs to go and watch that. And just as a heads up, that is not illegal, but it is a violation of the Netflix terms of service. They theoretically could cancel your account. So,
in all fairness, with all the things I've heard missing from international Netflix, I'll let them have that one. They need it because apparently, like in Canada, it used to really be awful. Now it's a little better, but they still don't have it anywhere near the catalog we have.
Well, that's because they've been making all their deals now for Netflix, not just Netflix US. So, like all the Netflix originals, for instance, are available everywhere. A lot of the other shows, they're starting to make these deals that is, if we're purchasing the rights to it, it's on all Netflix instances, not just a geo-blocked location. Sailor Poland's like, if you get caught for the VPN stuff.
Yeah, nothing's illegal if you don't get caught.
Well, Netflix is pretty good at sniffing out these VPNs and just basically cutting off access through them. So it's easier said than done.
That would be sad as shit out of it.
Go for it. Speaking of bad shows, apparently, did anyone watch Inhumans?
I recorded it and then promptly deleted it when I said, why the hell did you do this, Chris?
Because I was already depressed this week and hating myself, I went ahead and watched the first episode yesterday.
Well, it couldn't have been too bad if you aren't like bleeding out the eyes.
Yeah, I didn't slit my wrist yet. I mean, it's not good, but it's definitely not as god awful as people were pretending. But Scott Buck is a crappy showrunner. I'll just say that. But I would agree with the article I read. The director of the episodes was talking about how he basically got handed a script 2 weeks before they started, had no time to prep anything, and Marvel's like, here's the IMAX deadline and $2 million. Fucking get on it. And he had basically no time to get the show done. So what should have been 8 months of prep going into the show, they had like 1/4 of the pre-production time they should have, which is why the costumes look like shit, honestly. That's the worst part. If you went back and, I mean, I don't know if it's wardrobe or the director or whoever actually made the decisions, but it looks like they came out with whatever the first choice was. Like, hey, here's the first costume idea we had. Great, run with it. And they made had no time to make, decisions to make changes or anything. And so, yeah, it looks like, hey, here's the first drawing we did of Medusa. Fine, do it. And yeah, it's the costumes are the really bad part. The storyline is, they basically took what could have been like season 1 and tried to put it in episode 1. Like, far too fucking much happens in the pilot for the start of a show. And then they didn't stick to the whole point is that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has its own set of rules. And we've seen Inhumans and we know how Inhumans transform thanks to 5 seasons of S.H.I.E.L.D. they didn't do the transformation the same way. So the one connecting tissue between the two shows, they fucking changed.
Yeah,
It's
I was
like-
actually going to ask about that. Is it actually tied into I don't watch any of these shows, so
They make mention of the fact that there's Inhumans like starting to appear on Earth, and that's why they start contacting Earth again. But they don't in the first episode because the ABC only has the pilot, the first half of it. So you have to have a cable company log in to get to the second half of the episode, or wait until next week. But in the first episode, they don't really show you what time it is. So they're showing that Inhumans are appearing on Earth. Black Bolt's aware of it and has now tried to make contact. But you don't know if it's like at the very first outbreak at the early, S.H.I.E.L.D. season 2, or if the show is taking place like current with where S.H.I.E.L.D. is now. So it's impossible to tell from the pilot exactly when they are in the Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline. So yeah, it's hard to tell where it would be connected if it is. It plays like it is, but yeah, it's definitely a show with huge problems. The fucking Lockjaw was awesome, but they should have took 2 scenes with Lockjaw, took him out, and finished the stuff with Medusa's hair. Because spoilers, she only has her hair for 1 episode.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But remember, hashtag, it's all connected.
What, they shave her head or
Yeah.
something?
like
That's how you save on your CGI budget. If you have a character whose entire superpower is CGI'd hair that should be moving at all time, you do half the scenes with her hair just flat and looking dead, which is awful because it looks like she's wearing a 60-pound wig, because this poor actress is wearing a 60-pound wig. And then the other scenes where you animate it, by the time like the actual pilot, it doesn't look bad. When the hair moves and attacks people, like it looks good, but it looks like it could have looked better. And yeah, you can tell they spent half their production budget on teleporting Lockjaw and making Lockjaw run around the rooms, because he seems like he's in the scenes with people, which is amazing because it's a 800-pound fucking bulldog. And instead of giving him his tuning fork, he has it as like a hair dye. Like it looks like it's a birthmark where he has the U like Black Bolt, which is really cool because, the tuning fork always kind of seemed really weird even in the comics. But yeah, he has it like in his fur as a birthmark. So Lockjaw looks really cool, and some of the other ones don't look bad either. Karnak is awesome. I love the way they did him. And Gorgon looks like a poor Halloween version of Gorgon, which sucks. The actor did fine, but his legs look ridiculous. Like it's just everything was just half-assed.
did he skip?
Naki?
Did he skip leg day?
Mhm.
No,
Probably
he
a
doesn't
few
look like he
times.
skipped leg day. He looks like he's having trouble awkwardly standing in his prosthetic goat legs, is what it looks like.
Oh, okay, yeah, that
It
would be
looks
a
like they
problem.
gave him the legs the day they were shooting, and he didn't have fucking time to get used to them. And so whenever you see them, it looks like he's standing there going, I'm trying not to fall, trying not to fall. Like he just
Act.
looks...
Oh shit, I gotta act. Oh shit, I gotta
Yeah,
act.
he just looks awkward because it looks like he didn't have time to get used to them. It just, the whole thing looks rushed. It looks like if you had, the production for an entire movie, like you were planning, had a script for an entire 2-hour movie you were planning, and then we're told, hey, you have 2 months to make this a TV show that's going to last 34 minutes. Get on it. And shoot some ridiculous explosion scenes in IMAX for no fucking reason whatsoever.
So the takeaway here is I'm glad I didn't watch it, and I will not be watching it.
Yeah, it's... there's some good stuff. I mean, it's not the worst thing Marvel. Well, it might be the worst thing Marvel's done. I was gonna say it might be the worst thing, but yeah, it's probably the worst thing Marvel's done. It is definitely
Thor
worse
2.
than Iron Fist. It is worse than Iron Fist.
What about Thor 2? Because that was a piece
Oh,
of
it's
shit.
way worse than Thor 2. But I mean, like Anson Mount does sign language as Black Bolt, and it makes complete sense. He never talks because if he talks, people die, and so he had to act as a character. Like Tom Hardy did, where as Bane he could only use his eyes. Anson Mount delivers a lot of expression as his character without ever being able to talk as his character, which was fucking impressive because I didn't know how they were going to do it. And yeah, he just communicates everything to Medusa through sign language, which makes sense. He's a superhero that can't talk, or he blows up fucking planets when he talks. So yeah, he learned sign language. Duh. Like it's something that I don't know if they've ever done in the comics. It'd always just been like he would just look at Medusa and she would say something. And so yeah, they're like, well, that's not really going to work on television. So we're going to have him do fucking ASL. And it works perfectly. Yeah, there's good stuff that they found, but yeah, I think Scott Buck should never be allowed to touch another Marvel property, honestly, because he did Iron Fist season 1, which had gigantic problems, and I don't know how they said it was rushed because they knew 4 years before it came out that they were doing Iron Fist, so they had no fucking excuse. And then they go and put him on this project, which went from being, hey, we're going to do a movie in 2017 to, hey, we're going to try to cram an IMAX movie into a pilot and give you 2 months to do it. Run that. And yeah, the two worst things that have come out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far both involve Scott Buck. So
is that Scott Buck's fault though? Unless he was put, like, the only thing I could think of is that he was put on the project too late to actually.
And that could be too.
I mean, like, at the same time,
the director said they were basically shit on by Marvel to make this.
Yeah. Well, Iron Fist, I still haven't watched it because I tried to watch the first episode and I was like, nope.
And the first episode has one of the best fights in it because you could tell the first fight that he gets in with the security guards is the one that he had like 4 months prepping for because that was the first episode they shot. And so that's one of the best fights in the show is him not using his superpowers in street clothes against security guards barefoot. But the guards and him made it look good.
I'll still say the first half was all right. All right.
I didn't get through the first episode. I was just like, and
the problem is Iron Fist is a solid C. But if it had come out before Daredevil, it would be like a B+. The problem with Iron Fist is that all the other shows were so good that it really raised the bar. Because prior to Daredevil, we had the movies, and no one had done a good... I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is great, but it's not really based on the comics. It's based on the universe the comics are in. But up until that point, I mean, we had, Blade, House of Cthulhu? Like, we really didn't have a great Marvel TV show. And Iron Fist isn't god-awful. They got an actor that can't fight on screen, but it does tell an okay story. The problem is that after 2 seasons of Daredevil, it made Iron Fist look awful.
See, I didn't like the second season of Daredevil, though.
I loved it.
And I don't...
Disney's The Punisher is the bloodiest Punisher ever. It's fucking awesome.
I mean, The Punisher was great. It wasn't that. It was... It's my genuine problem with the mysticism and Asian shit. You know, the stuff I always complain about.
And since the entire Marvel Netflix Defender shows are all based on that.
Right. And it takes me so far out of the story. Just my issue with it takes me so far out of it, it's hard for me to enjoy it. So it's like season 2 of Daredevil, Iron Fist, the Defenders. It's like,
yeah, it's all Elektra in the hand, which is very standard for Marvel.
Yeah, it is. And again, I maintain that Marvel just doesn't know how to write Asian people. But
I don't know. I always like Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu.
I don't even think I read it.
He was their version of Bruce Lee after they did Iron Fist in the Kung Fu exploitation period. His dad is actually fucking Fu Manchu, which they had to stop publishing for a while because they didn't own the rights to Fu Manchu.
Oh, Jesus.
Awesome mustache.
It was the 70s, man. They were all on drugs.
Anyways, but that I know is and I know a few people who have said to say that they've had the same problem with those shows, which is why they haven't enjoyed them either. But like, I know that I am in the minority for that, where I didn't like season 2. I didn't like Iron Fist. I like the Defenders more.
Most people didn't like Iron Fist. You're okay.
Oh, yeah, you're in the majority with me defending Iron Fist. I'm in the minority. Because on the second watch through with the Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast, I've been finding more stuff about it that I like, and yeah, it's just because it's really the comparison. If Iron Fist had came out 10 years ago, people would have fucking loved it because it would have been the first. But because it was the 4th show or 5th show, that by comparison made it suck ass because it's nowhere near as good as the other 3.
So just to clarify something, Sailor Poland's a lot more knowledgeable on a lot of this comic stuff than I am. He said the guy who did Master of Kung Fu was sincere. He wanted to make a Bruce Lee comic book, and this was his best shot.
Oh, yeah. Shang-Chi Master of Kung Fu was not a joke. It was, we're going to have a martial artist character in Marvel, and we're going to make him Asian, and he's going to kick ass. And Shang-Chi does indeed kick ass. He's a great fucking character.
Okay. So it's not... It's not the exploitation then. It's an actual...
Yeah, I mean, it was done during the exploitation era, but it was the answer to I can't think of the guy that did Iron Fist, but yeah, they created Iron Fist from Marvel, and they're like, well, there needs to also be like a counterpart to him that's someone that's go toe to toe with him that's an actual Asian martial artist, and they created Shang-Chi, who really is he's Marvel's Bruce Lee. If you look at a lot of the old comics from the 70s and some of the artists that did reference of him in the 90s, they're literally drawing Bruce Lee and they're just putting him in a different costume and calling him Shang-Chi. Like it is a lot of them, it's Bruce Lee drawings and then they put like a red sash on him and just called him Shang-Chi. Gotcha.
Okay, that makes that makes my stomach less queasy.
Yeah. No, Shang-Chi's a fun character. Yeah,
that's just the soggy pancakes that are doing that, Naki.
No,
it was when and how he was created is problematic.
Pancakes are actually really good.
Who the hell delivers pancakes and why would you?
If you live in a big enough city, they deliver anything.
Yeah. I mean, you could get anything. You could get alcohol delivered.
That just sounds illegal.
No, that sounds awesome. College Chris would have loved that. I don't have to go out to go and buy my beer or my liquor. Bring it to me.
So they have alcohol in drive-thrus. That should be illegal, and they still have those.
Well, as long as you don't open the alcohol, who cares?
Why should that be illegal? It's still, you can still drive to an ABC store, go inside the store, and buy it, and walk out.
It's the same difference.
Because it just seems wrong.
Well, there's a lot of things in life that seem wrong, but are still illegal.
Well, I mean, there's also
like alcohol.
Thank you, Anthony. We're on the same page for that.
Hey, I'm on the boat of everyone do whatever they need to do on that stuff. If they can drink and be fine, that's great. If they can't, don't.
I'm just saying there were a lot more alcohol deaths than marijuana deaths last year and ever.
I can't argue. I can't debate that, and I wouldn't want to try because we don't talk about that kind of stuff on this show.
But we like booze and drugs.
That's a whole other thing.
Look, I take the Kevin Smith approach to it. Handle your high. If you want to smoke weed, you want to drink alcohol, as long as you can handle what you're doing and not be a problem for everyone else and yourself, handle your high. I don't care what you do if it doesn't negatively impact me.
Well, and that's why I quit drinking.
See, good for you.
Welcome to the sober club.
Oh, wait, it's October. What is that? So
I just got no drinking buddies.
June, July, August, September, October. 18 months today.
Yay!
Yay!
I have not had a drink since January of 2014.
I haven't in 2 weeks.
Good job. Good job, Chris.
I accidentally had a mimosa sip a couple months ago. Does that count?
Well,
if it was a mimosa, then yeah.
I thought it was just my regular orange juice. Whoa, no, that is more than orange juice.
Well, that would count as a drinker. Like you did drink alcohol, but it doesn't mean you got drunk that day.
It was not an intentional drink.
No, I was like, I just wanted my orange juice. Extra pulp.
Ugh.
We need tacos.
That's the most offensive thing you've ever said to me, Willie. Is extra pulp and orange juice.
That's the most offensive thing.
Oh.
That would make my top 10 list of the shit Willie said.
I just want to put a bookmark on this for a second. Did Naki just fill herself up with soggy pancakes, and now she's saying we need tacos?
I did, because in the chat room, Chris said taco truck, hell yes, and I'm just like, tacos. Which actually, Tuesday is boyfriend and I's anniversary, and so we're having Taco Tuesday.
Nice.
That'd be.
We used to go work every Monday. It was Mexicana Monday, as we called it. We'd go and get tacos or whatever. And the one guy had issues with Mexican food, so he would always joke, and Tuesday's Toilet Tuesday, because that's what would generally happen to him.
Wednesday's Washroom Wednesday.
Poor guy.
How come they don't have taco trucks like ice cream trucks that plays like a little mariachi band?
That's what Sailor Bolden was just talking about, was a taco truck that gave out tacos and margaritas.
Oh,
they
I
do.
didn't. Man, where? I bet go down the street like that.
According to Sailor Poland, October 4th is National Taco Day.
Oh, dang, that's the day after our anniversary.
So you can have tacos 2 days in a row.
We can.
I have to go court on that day. Yay, Taco Tuesday.
Well, I don't know how to segue out of that, so you guys know what happens then.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
Yes, it's that special time of the show where we run down what we think is the most awesome, or at least the most interesting, geeky or nerdy news to have come out in the last week. And looking at the time, we're halfway through the show, so it took us a while to get to news of the week. So we'll try and burn through this quickly to try and get out of here in a decent amount of time. Oh, shit. He's calling it out. Well, I'll go first with my story, which is relatively quick, is that, hey, Friday, SNES Classic came out. And you know what? By all reports, it was not an absolutely miserable experience trying to get an SNES Classic. That being said, I did not get one, but Cody Goff was able to get one. He was like number 12 out of 16 in line at GameStop where he was that got them. People were able to find them, and I asked around because I stopped on my way home from work to run some errands. I popped into a GameStop, into a Target, into a Walmart, running some various errands. And they said, yeah, we actually got a lot more SNES Classics than we did NES Classics in stock. The local Target around me had about 30 that came in store. Walmart had about 20, and GameStop said they had about 18 that were outside of their pre-orders they had available. So,
what?
Decent number. Well, compared to what the NES Classics were, NES Classic was like 4 per store.
I'm sorry. Let's go.
Nintendo decided to make more money this time.
Yeah.
So, a major metropolitan city, Chicago, had 16 of those to sell. Are you fucking kidding me?
It all
we
depends.
also had the Amazon truck though too.
Yeah, the Amazon truck. If you weren't familiar, Amazon has their treasure truck, as they call it, and sadly, it does not run in Morgantown, West Virginia. But all the pre-orders that Amazon had will be shipping later. They put all of their initial allotment to the SNES Classic on the treasure truck. So if you were in a town where that came around, you could easily get one.
No. Fuck that. A video game store that sells video game things.
But Willie, you have to remember,
16.
GameStop's counts are all based off of the size of the store. I don't know how big the GameStop is that Cody went to. If you're talking about one of those small GameStops, it's a tiny little strip mall location, they're probably not going to get a ton of stuff because they don't have a huge back room. They don't have a huge storefront. Whereas if you're talking one of those ones that's inside a giant mall that's a huge GameStop, they probably got more. I mean,
what malls have you been? The two I've been to are small stores, and the ones that are just outside, like those outside malls. What do they call them?
Strip malls.
Strip malls.
Yeah, those are bigger than the mall than the inside mall.
It varies honestly, depending. Like if you go to the mall in Morgantown, where there used to be one, it wasn't big, and the strip mall ones were a little bit larger. But if you go up to like Pittsburgh, the mall locations are huge, and the strip mall ones are smaller for some reason. Don't ask me to explain why. I don't understand the logic.
But that's still dumb as shit. Like this faux demand for this damn product is ridiculous.
And that's a separate issue, and I tend to agree with you. But Nintendo has said, if you believe them, that they are planning on shipping out multiple more shipments of them. Reggie Fils-Aime, the president of Nintendo of America, had said, don't pay the scalper prices. There should be plenty of them out there. Do I believe it? No. Do I want it to be true? Yes. I have come after I got screwed by Walmart and they canceled my pre-order. And they're actually canceling pre-orders again now because they over-ordered, so people are getting back-order notifications that will eventually become cancellations. I decided I'm not going to go and hunt one down if I happen upon one when I'm running my errands and things like that. I'll get it, but I'm not going to actively hunt for one. What they need to do, and I stand by this, is if you said for $80 I could get every game that's on the SNES Classic as like a digital game on my Switch, I'd be all over it. I wouldn't care.
Yep.
I would just do that. That is what they need to do. If they can't keep doing this hardware stuff, give me a bundle that's an $80 bundle that's all the games on the SNES Classic that I can just play on my Switch.
Sailor Poland has said in the chat room that he's waiting on his Atari 2600 clone with the HDMI and upscaler. Fun fact, the Commodore 64 is on the list now of getting a upscaler.
Why?
Yeah, SP said he's buying one.
Yep. So if you did not, if you were expecting, if all of the consoles in the world, if that was one of them you were expecting, just saying that's coming.
So guys,
I'm waiting for the Intellivision with that weird ass controller where you had to put the little slips into it for individual controls.
I had one of those. Part of me is really
This is the worst.
Part of me is actually kind of happy I couldn't get this though, because I'm worried that the nostalgia and the fond memories I have for these games isn't going to quite hold up when I plug it into my TV and sit down and start playing. Some of them I'm sure will be fine, but other games, I'm sure I remember them being far greater than they would actually seem today if I sat down and played them. And I'm kind of worried about killing my childhood by accident.
I'm honestly just curious for Star Fox 2.
Yeah, me too. Well, and I want to play.
You can play it
Zelda
on.
again.
You can play it on your computer right now. Just saying.
See, I want the
That's
Super
illegal.
Nintendo one only for Super Mario Kart, because I think that would hold up because it's Super Mario Kart.
How you
fucking
can,
awesome.
yeah.
I'm just saying, yeah, Chris, with your making those old games seem bad. Yeah, old games are old. They're gonna be bad.
Right. And
Sonic is a horrible game.
you've got to remember, you've got to look through them with that lens. That's the thing. And sometimes it's hard to use that lens on some stuff, because I've gone back and played some of my like original Nintendo classic games I liked. I'm like, man, I loved this when I was a kid. It's still fun, but it's not quite what I remember from being a kid, because I think that we artificially pump up some of these things that we loved when we were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the nostalgia factor.
I
And
want to know the
human
number.
memory is fallible.
I want to know the number of people who are actually going to open up these SNES classics and actually play it, as opposed to just keep it on their shelf.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, honestly, is it seems like
50%.
So I went on Facebook's Facebook has their sales, you can sell stuff through Facebook. What is it, their marketplace or whatnot? There was a guy that's like, I'm selling 6 SNES classics, $125 each. I wanted to message him and be like, you're the problem here, dude. There's people that just want to get one, but you've got people buying up 6. They can flip them for extra $50 on top of them. That's the problem. Is the artificial scarcity of the NES Classic, and the scalpers hitting that caused it to be almost as bad with the SNES Classic. Thankfully, there's more numbers out there, but
Tangent. Is anybody else's marketplace for their town terrible, or is it just because I'm in the south side of Chicago?
I've never even looked at mine. Shit.
It's hilariously bad in my area, because it's like really cheap weaves and like
I live in a college town, so mine will be different probably.
Yeah, there's like a lot of yarn, but it's not like good quality yarn. Like it's the stuff that you avoid at Joann's, because it looks like the stuff that has like bed bugs and stuff in it. It's so bad, and like people are selling cars for like $25. It's cars without wheels and shit like that, and I'm just like,
just go to a junkyard. Damn.
So
exactly, like, junkyard.
So for
and
the
here,
purposes
somebody
of
started the 208 one, so we don't. I've never looked at the Facebook one, because we have the 208 one, and it's basically a buy and sell like Craigslist.
For the purposes of science, I just popped onto my Facebook Marketplace. Let's go through a few of the top items. There's a Wii with a bunch of games. There's a Nintendo DS with a bunch of games. A couch, an Xbox 360, a Kinect camera, another couch, a Wii, an Xbox One, a picnic table, a laptop, a Wii, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4 games. So you can tell I live in a college town, because it's a lot of like gaming systems and furniture.
Or maybe it's just specified for you.
I doubt it.
Where's it?
Because there's also other stuff coming in here now that I'm seeing as I scroll down, like tractor tires, and here's a tube TV and a file cabinet. So it's not
Fully for you.
Not just
Buy
stuff
and
I
sell
want.
group. Oh no, marketplace. There it is.
I mean, you need new tractor tires for your tractor.
I don't have a
You're
tractor.
in West Virginia. That's a tractor thing, right?
Yeah.
I live in a townhouse. Where am I going to keep a tractor?
Yeah, the one for Boise looks basically like our Craigslist. It's treadmill, a rock recliner, dining table and chairs, a kid's Mini Cooper, a bike, a hot tub, desk, table, mannequin torso, motorcycle, RV, random shit.
So Sailor Poland says, get a tube TV for your light gun games. Okay, so I had my tube TV until literally 3 years ago. I loved my tube TV. I loved it so much. I had the big screen one, like, and by big screen I mean it was still pretty small, but it was a big screen one. It never died. The color was kind of off, but I mean, like, I had that thing since like 1989.
I still have a 27-inch cathode ray tube television in my bedroom right now.
I love the tube TVs. These are the LCDs just don't last as long.
Yeah, I might have a 49-inch LCD in my bedroom.
I've had this LCD TV for how long? I don't even know.
But my TV in our front room, like that's the one that we took from my house, from my bedroom in my house. Now we have Keith's little TV in our bedroom, and I'm like, man, I kind of miss having a tube TV. But the tube TV is so huge it wouldn't fit anywhere.
You miss it until you pick it up and have to move it somewhere.
Oh,
They are the heavy. Yeah, my 27-inch cathode ray tube in my bedroom is heavier than the 70-inch flat screen I had.
Yeah, I could see it.
Like that. Yeah, that flat screen, I could pick it up with both hands like this, and it weighed less than the 27-inch one that I have to have both hands behind the handles behind the screen to lift it. because that sucker's a beast.
So Naki, I see
And
you had Nintendo for your next item. Let's just keep the Nintendo train going.
Oh, okay. So Nintendo, mine's a little bit different. Nintendo Creators Program, which is what allows YouTubers to play their games, basically, came out with a updated user guide, and they are no longer allowing live streamers to play Nintendo games. And I'm not sure. So it says live streaming on YouTube falls outside the scope of Nintendo Creators Program. This means you cannot broadcast content on YouTube Live from an account that you have registered to the Nintendo Creators Program. Please check your user guides for details. So that just means you can't live stream it. Like, I'm reading the uproar about it. And I'm like, in all honesty, Nintendo has never been creator friendly. They've always had this struggle. So this isn't anything new to me. I'm reading a lot of the reactions, and it's like, well, I mean, if you think about it, it took a long time for Nintendo even open up to YouTube. They're just they're an older company in the sense that they still stick to the idea, like the well, you're using my content. Why should I allow you to use my content? I created this content, type thing. And I understand that, because it's like, if I somehow made a game, if I was ever smart enough to make a game, I would also, if people are like, get this game and then are like shitting all over it, I'd be like, well, fuck you. You can't use my stuff.
But I don't think they understand in some cases, because PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, part of why it's gotten so big is how many people were watching it on Twitch and stuff like that, and then went, this is really cool, and went and bought it for themselves. I mean, it's a great tool. Granted, if your game's not shit, it's a great tool if your game's not shit, to get a game out there so people see it and go, I want to play that too. And I don't think they realize just how many folks watch video games on TV, people playing them for fun now.
Yep.
Yeah, and I like, and that's the thing that I think is what they're missing, is that they just don't realize it. I know that boyfriend has used Mario Maker for his live streams, and they're great live streams. It's really hard to make videos and like just like straight up content with Mario Maker, just because some levels you play for like 45 minutes and nobody wants to watch you do that in 10-minute increments. People just want to see it get done and whatever. But YouTube algorithms like specify that 10 to 12 to 15 minutes, I believe, is like the ideal time length for a video. So it's like you just run into there's Nintendo definitely has a struggle with YouTube. I think
And Nintendo has a struggle with online.
Yeah,
Well,
Nintendo has a struggle with the online thing, but from what it sounds like, from just like, and this is just sincere observer thing, is that Nintendo's trying to do their own thing with online, like not just in like, having to use Skype to talk to your buddies while you're playing the game, but like they're trying to build their own online content, and they don't want YouTubers that, like people like PewDiePie or Game Grumps, people who aren't family friendly, to be playing these games when they're trying to create a family friendly environment. I think that is what they're running into.
My thing about both your stories is Nintendo needs to get their head out their ass.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that that's my theory. That's my working theory, is that they're trying to create their own online world with family friendly content, and people like that. YouTube doesn't necessarily mean family friendly. So
There's Twitch or
Yeah,
Mixer,
because they
any of
can't
those.
they can't restrict it, and so I think that's part of Nintendo's problem, is they can't restrict what part of it is and isn't family friendly.
So
if people are streaming their games,
Where it gets interesting, though, is it seems like you can still upload your videos to those channels, because I'm pulling a quote out of the Kotaku article here. If this makes sense to everyone else, please let me know. They say, as of today, YouTubers who are also registered members of the Nintendo Creators Program are no longer allowed to broadcast content on YouTube Live. Nintendo gives partners two options. They can broadcast content on YouTube Live from a channel that isn't registered to the program, or they can cancel their channel's registration to the program and instead register their videos to the program separately. So it sounds to me that if you still want to be part of this, you can either have a separate streaming channel or or cancel the overall channel registration and register individual videos so that you can be in the
Right.
creator program that way, which still sucks.
They're aiming to get it away from live streaming. Again, I think the PewDiePie live stream debacle was part of that. For those of you who don't follow that sort of thing, PewDiePie was recently, first off, he was taken away from a game. Like they had him demonetize a game that he was playing because he was swearing through it, and he said the effing. Yeah, he dropped the N-bomb.
That wasn't for the Nintendo game, was it?
No, it was
for Firewatch.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
for Firewatch. He has PewDiePie's channel's gone down anyways. Like if you look at his numbers and stuff like that, and they say that the content, because his content changed, he doesn't really do video gaming anymore. There's actual analysis of his channel, which I think is really funny. That people get super into it, and I've watched a couple of them, so I'm one of them, I guess. But just the analysis of his channel, not necessarily that I watch his channel. He's not my style, but and it's nothing against you if you like him, but he's not family friendly. And Game Grumps, definitely not family friendly either. One of my favorite channels. It's just one of those things where it's like, if you do it live, there's definitely no censoring you because it's live. And that's, part of doing this show. We have to think about that, is that it's live. So that means there's no editing, and we have to watch what we say. Not necessarily.
And not admit to crimes.
Yes. Also that. But it's one of those things where it's like they want to be able to control what is seen, and they can do that with a broadcast, with a non-live stream. They can't do that with a live stream.
Or they'll just have a bunch of people that live stream on separate stuff, or just go, okay, you know what, Nintendo, enough's enough. I'm done with this crap. Because a lot of these guys now that live stream, they play multiple games.
Yep.
They don't understand the benefit there is to this stuff, because honestly, I've bought some games after I've gone on Twitch and Mixer and said, okay, I'm thinking about this game. Let me go watch some people play it. Like, I want to buy the Friday the 13th game now. I'm on the fence. I was on the fence. Anthony and Willie had talked about it. I said, okay, that sounds interesting. I watched some Let's Plays and some live streaming of it on Mixer and on Twitch, and I went, this looks like it's really fun. I might actually pick this up when it goes on sale for one of the gold sales and things like that.
Maybe. One day.
I don't know. It's just a powerful tool that I don't think Nintendo gets, and I think it just falls into Nintendo doesn't quite get modern gaming. They do Nintendo gaming great.
Yeah.
And everyone, when you say Nintendo game, you know exactly what I mean by that. The unique.
But you have a lot of people of my generation that still don't understand the whole millennial thing of watching people play games, and I think the people at Nintendo don't get that at all.
Well, their service is built for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it wasn't for YouTube, I would definitely have never gotten into Five Nights at Freddy's. Fuck that game.
So you're saying it's a bad thing?
No, I mean it's definitely.
Aren't you?
God damn it, Anthony.
Aren't you?
I mean, he's got you there.
I mean, it's one of those things that it's done great thing for indie gamers. Undertale was another one that I didn't actually watch the YouTube stuff because I was told by friends to play it and don't watch the YouTube stuff because you don't want to spoil it. But it's like, it's done great things for indie creators.
There's tons of games like that I never would have heard of if it wasn't for you talking about them because you saw stuff on YouTube.
Yeah. So it's like, you could Nintendo, not that they have money issues where they need to benefit from it, but it definitely could benefit if they just let people play their games.
Nintendo tends to forget that until the Switch came out, everyone was kind of like, Nintendo, psh, what their best days are behind them. And then the Switch defied expectations, and now you got like cocky Nintendo coming in again, be like, you're going to do it our way or F off, is what it almost seems like to me. And I'm not sure that's the right approach for them. Or maybe I'm just cranky and reading it the wrong way.
I think they've always said that.
I mean, Nintendo's known for their Mario. It's not known for, third-party games or anything.
Let's be honest. How many live streamers are you going to see on October 27th playing Mario Odyssey all the way through and things like that? There's going to be plenty of people that are still live streaming. It's just they're going to have to work around all the crap that Nintendo's doing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading Drasman's quote in the chat room, which I will say because it's fine. But Drasman says, "My jokes border on the edge of criminality. So Chris no longer reads my jokes because then people have audio him admitting to quote soliciting, promoting, depraved, wanton, and antisocial behavior, unquote. At least that is what the charges filed by the state called what I did."
You figured it out, Drasman. I don't want to be quoted.
So ATGN, that's what he did. He did this show.
Yes,
Listening to promoting depraved, wanton, antisocial behavior. Sunday morning. That's what I call Sunday morning.
Exactly. So let's move on to the next story here. Let's stick with gaming. Willie, what you got for us, sir?
So I sent a YouTube video to you guys last Sunday.
Still didn't watch it.
Yeah. Thank you for prepping up for me.
You're welcome.
So the video is the game Cuphead that just got released. Looks fun, not my type of game, but I could probably still beat the tutorial in first level. Probably not that bad. But there's a video where this game journalist was at a expo type thing, and it took him like 5 minutes to get through the tutorial, which is not much than just jumping and showing you how to shoot.
The tutorial takes about 2 minutes max.
If even.
Yeah.
I would say a minute and a half, if that.
Okay, work.
Because all you have to do is jump on 2 boxes, look how to shoot, and it shows you how to jump on other things, and you're done. Go to the world.
You have to learn how to counter as well.
Yeah, I mean the parry is actually really convenient to use.
That's what parry.
But this guy, and then he couldn't even finish the first level. It got painful. I couldn't even finish it fully. I got like 2 minutes left. I was like, I can't do this no more. I can't watch this guy die over and over. He's like, he keeps thinking Mario physics. Like, I can jump on these enemies over and over. He's like, nope, you take hits. You keep on taking hits. It's like the 50th time you tried this. Stop it. And just to see him try and jump over these boxes at the very beginning, it takes him way too long to figure this out. He just runs over and I'm trying to jump over this box. My character's not jumping high enough. I'll keep trying it, though. It is very painful. So, should these game journalists have like just basic video game logic on how to beat stuff?
Not sure if it's video game logic or this guy just is suffering from a low IQ. I'm watching the video now, and yeah, he's just stupid.
It's not. It's so okay. So boyfriend and I played Cuphead on Friday and a little bit yesterday. It's not hard to figure out. The thing that gets aggravating with it is that you find the pattern and you start running, especially run and gun levels are really are the tougher levels than the actual soul levels. And the run and guns were just like, they're frustrating. And so I don't know if he played the run and gun or if he just could not jump in general. Like,
well, if you watch the video.
I knew about the jumping part where he could literally not get from one box to another. But it was just like, I had known about that part, but I didn't get to the run and gun because it was painful to even hear about. So,
but I'm not even saying just being good at it, just having basic skills like to be able to jump from one box to another shouldn't be like, you're a video game journalist. You get paid to play and review these games. You need to have a basic knowledge. Otherwise, what is your opinion? Your opinion just matters shit now, is what I'm saying.
So what you're saying, it's about ethics in games journalism.
No!
Careful.
No.
Wait, I have a question. Do we know what like magazine or website or whatever he's a journalist for?
I saw it a while back. I gotta go back and look into it.
I mean, like, is the guy in that video named? Because I wasn't listening to it. I was just watching it.
It's my cousin named it. Hang on. He told me because we were talking about it.
Because it becomes a thing where maybe he got hired by that company because he's a really good writer. But if he doesn't have a basic understanding of the ability to jump around in a platformer game and shoot, then maybe part of their hiring process should be actually playing a game in front of the interviewer.
Well, let's also bear in mind that Cuphead is not quite like your current run of games you're getting. It's kind of an older school kind of game, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's Gene Takahashi, by the
I
way.
will say this for full disclosure that he was not playing this game to review it right then and there. He was just at the expo and they recorded him playing it and they just put it up as a joke. I'm not even sure if he's the one even reviewing that particular game, but that just shows that is he even any good at the game?
Well, then you also might have the problem where he might not have been really paying attention to what he was doing. He may have been talking to the game designers while he was just moving the character around. And so if you don't have him on camera playing and it's him like focusing and trying to get past that part, if that's not what was happening while they were just recording the screen, I mean, it might be that he's a really good writer and a bad video game player. Okay, it's possible. Or it might be that he wasn't even really paying attention to the tutorial and he was talking to the guys about the game as he was just moving the character around. Because I've seen people do that at like game cons and stuff where they're not really even caring about the game they're playing. They're more interviewing the people that they're talking to, and that's being recorded for something later for an interview. So, I mean, it's possible.
I mean, and also,
I just
go ahead, Naki. Sorry.
I was going to say, I just wanted to point out that Anthony's being the voice of reason here. Anyways,
it's been a hard week. I told you. It's been a hard week.
So if you guys have been reading the chat, Sailor Poland's brought up some good points about the fact you need average gamers, you need people with different focuses and things like that. And bear in mind, some folks that write for gaming magazines, their focus might not be game reviewing. It could be talking about the business about gaming and be like looking at the trends and talking about stuff like that. So just because you're writing for games doesn't necessarily mean you're a straight up game reviewer. Now that being said,
I'm not saying you have to be great at the game. Just be able to do the basic.
Well, I mean, that being said, maybe this just isn't his type of game. Maybe he's really bad at this kind of game, and this guy's like an RTS mastermind or something like that. Everyone has different stuff they're good at.
Because you see that at like IGN stuff. You see people that are very good at RPGs and can't do platformers, and then they give them Ratchet and Clank and they're lost. It happens.
So I understand the conceit that you have, Willie. If you've got game reviews being done, I'd like to have someone who's a gamer of some kind being involved in it. I understand the conceit.
Yeah, someone who's good at Mario should have been playing that demo and tutorial to go through it to show how that game worked.
Yeah, I don't know
if that was what they were doing.
For that, you don't want a Mario.
It's like
player for Cuphead. You want a Mega Man player or a Contra player or something like that.
Or Mega Man, I guess would be better.
Contra all the way around.
It's like you don't want me to.
This reporter, he could be in his 20s and he could have only ever played first-person shooters. And then this is the first time someone's ever handed him a side-scrolling jumping game, and he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. There are kids now in the industry that are probably game reviewers that have never played anything except Call of Duty. Well, then it's sad to say, but I guarantee you that person exists. Somewhere at IGN, at one of the e-gamer companies, that guy exists. And he just shouldn't be the first pick to go review a game like this, but it could happen.
Well, bear in mind, he was at a convention and sat down to do one of the demos. It doesn't sound like he was assigned to go do Cuphead.
Yeah, so I'm saying I don't know the whole story, so yeah, if someone just randomly picks up that controller, it just may not be their type of game, and they just wouldn't know how to fucking play it. Because from watching what little of that video I just did, it looks like he really had no clue how to do a jump and dash. And if that stops you on like the first obstacle or technically the second obstacle in a game, that's someone that's never really spent serious time doing platformers and side scrollers. Because wow.
Well, now let me tell you this: I eat food, I cook food a little bit. Should I be going out there and reviewing large restaurants and everything and how they serve? No, I shouldn't, because I don't know shit about it.
It depends on the stance you take for it. If you take it as I'm the common man going out and reviewing this,
yeah,
potentially. But if you're trying to put yourself out there as like this expert food blogger, there's a difference. You could be like, I'm Willie Nelson. I love me some fried chicken, so I'm going to go try all these different fried chicken in places here and tell you what I think about it.
Well, first off, who doesn't like fried chicken?
If your local paper offered you $1,000 to go to the nicest restaurant in your state and ask you to review it, you may not, and they give you a list of things to order off the menu, you may not have a fucking clue what any of that stuff is, but you'd go do it, right?
It's all more about where you come from on it. If you're not trying to bill yourself as an expert, there's a difference.
Repeat, it's about ethics and games journalism.
Stop it. Stop it. I don't want Milo, I can't pronounce his last name, to be talking about this show.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Who? Sorry, I took that from Justin Robert Young, but I really can't pronounce his last name, so it worked out well.
I don't care. I'm still in the stance like you should have a basic video game knowledge if you're going to be doing that.
You should, but
I know it's a joke, but yeah, fuck it. I agree with that ethics shit.
Sailor Poland says, "Sorry, Willie. You can review ramen and Taco Bell. Stay out of the nice places."
I already do. I stay the fuck away from them.
fried chicken is as fancy as it gets, folks.
I mean, I'm okay. You could thanks to there's a show on BuzzFeed. Yes, I watch BuzzFeed shows.
No, I'm done.
But there's a BuzzFeed show called Worth It, where they go to like the cheapest place, the medium like money place, and then the most expensive version of things. And they've done like steak and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, the most expensive steak isn't worth its price, you know? So it's like shows like that are interesting to me.
Fuck BuzzFeed.
I'm just saying. I know it's BuzzFeed, but they actually have the money to go get, $10,000 steaks.
Man, you're getting run over, Naki. Low Life Talking
that's
BuzzFeed, because that's where I go for quality.
I'm just saying they have the money that they could go to get $110 donut.
Fuck
yes, exists. It's
BuzzFeed
covered
and
in
their
gold.
views on everything is what I just say.
Top 10 reasons
I
why
like
Naki
Try
loves
Guys.
BuzzFeed.
Tells how you really
I
feel
like
about
the
it.
Try Guys. Fuck you guys. The Try Guys are hilarious.
All right.
Muh.
We're 60 minutes into this show and haven't finished news of the week. Let's wrap up the news
You
of the
know
week.
why I hate BuzzFeed.
Anthony, what do you got for
'Cause
your
you hate
news?
everything.
I'm going to preempt this.
I have bad news and good news. The bad news is that basically everything that I always have trouble with his name, Joseph Malozzi's tried to do to continue Dark Matter has failed. Apparently, every outlook or every channel he talked to, Netflix, Hulu, everybody he tried to sell the show to get the next seasons 4 and 5 to wrap up the show, all failed. So Sci-Fi has canceled what was, I believe at the time, their highest rated show because they're pissy because they didn't own it or they didn't create it. So they made less money off of it. So they canceled it because fuck Siffy. They suck. And so he did a bunch of tweet storms and stuff. A lot of the fans got together. You guys probably saw it on my Twitter where I went nuts the last couple of weeks. Basically, they were just trying to spike people talking about Dark Matter while they were in negotiations with like Netflix and Hulu and stuff. Sadly, it seems that it's all failed. So the show has shut down. They have struck the sets. So like the cast and crew did final walkthroughs and stuff. Good news is that Joseph Malozzi wanted to do like an auction so that the fans could buy parts of the show, get items from the show, stuff from wardrobe, whatever. And they decided, he talked to the other showrunner and co-creator, and they decided they're not even going to do an auction. What they're going to do is have fans of Dark Matter, like me, write in a letter and tell them why you love the show. And everybody that writes in a letter is going to have a chance to win everything from a hat or a Galactic Authority badge up to a piece of the set. So people will randomly win basically everything they were going to auction. So they're not going to make any money on the teardown of Dark Matter, but they're going to give the show away basically to the fans, which I think is fucking awesome.
That is really cool.
Yeah, so
That's
bad
probably-
news and good news.
Probably the
Submissions are
best thing they could've
due.
done.
Yeah, submissions are due by October 31st. If you want to go look, it's josephmalozzi.wordpress.com. His last name is Mallozzi, or just look at my Twitter feed. I've retweeted a bunch of his stuff the last couple of weeks for a bunch of stuff they were doing different tweet storms. And yeah, it's been really cool because they did a video too of, I think it's Dark Matter FTL on Twitter, asked people to send in photos of them with holding up the sign, "We are the Raza." And then they took those photos and made a 15-minute video to give to the producers and the co-creator of the show, showing the fans basically just love of the show and that we're sad that it's gone. Because yeah, that show was goddamn kick-ass. And yeah, no more Dark Matter.
This isn't the first time he had a show taken out from under him, because remember, he's also the showrunner on Stargate Universe as well. And I think there was another one that he did with them that just got yanked out from under him.
Yeah, the upside is that all 3 seasons are on Netflix right now, so you can literally go watch the entire show. And there's no greater jumping on point than the first episode of Dark Matter. The entire crew wakes up from stasis having had their minds wiped. They don't know who they are, they don't know where they are, and they don't know why the mind wipe happened. So it's literally a show that starts from scratch. as an audience, you know as much as every cast member in the first episode, which is a really crazy way to do a show.
I've heard good things about it. I just stopped watching anything on Sci-Fi aside from Face Off, to be honest.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Because I was tired of, I like this, and then Sci-Fi ruins it. And I know
Yeah.
Face Off, seeing as it's like season 12 now, it'll keep going for a while, and eventually it will just run its course, and I'm okay with that, because I've gotten like 12 plus seasons out of it.
I'm not a fan of Siffy, but yeah, you can watch it on Netflix. And yeah, it's 3 amazing seasons, 39 episodes of probably the best sci-fi show I've ever watched. I put it up. It stands toe to toe with the new Battlestar as far as I'm concerned. It was a damn entertaining show.
Oh, Battlestar. I love it.
There are people who don't like Battlestar Galactica.
Well, depending on where
I've
they
never
jumped on,
watched
I
it.
get it, because season 4 is kind of a cluster F.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's
So I
true.
don't not like it. I just never seen it.
Willie'd like it. There's a lot of mostly naked women in it.
There is a lot of there's
Yeah,
a lot of
there's-
side
oh.
Why do you
boob.
think that's my go-to? Why do you-
Trisha Helfer and
Side boob.
I don't need boobs to like a show.
and Starbuck. Oh,
You're right. I forgot about that quote. I'm sorry.
female Starbuck is like the best thing ever. She actually just flew with the Blue Angels. I saw on her Twitter. Starbuck actually got to fly.
Yep.
Well, guys, before we wrap things up, I do like to remind folks at this point in the show that the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast is, in fact, part of a network of shows that you can find over at GonnaGeek.com. There's 23 plus shows on the network, and each week we try to highlight one specific show to give you a taste and be like, hey, why don't you guys go check that out? And I'm going to throw things to the one and only Willie D. Nelson to tell us about what show now?
Well, I'm going to preamble this saying I'm probably going to mispronounce a name here. So and I think you gave this to me purposely so I wouldn't do a funny voice.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mispronouncing this. This week, I will be talking about Just One More Fix, episode 55, Kyle Chenier interview. After playing Blood in the Chocolate, the Just One More Fix crew sit down and talk with any award winner, Kyle Chenier, to talk about RPGs, game design elements, and other geekiness. Back to you, Chris.
Well, thank you, Willie. And for those that aren't familiar, Just One More Fix is one of the newest additions to the Gonna Geek Network. It is a podcast centered around tabletop gaming. So if you're a tabletop gamer and you like board games and other various tabletop games, go check it out. Very good addition. We're happy to have them as a part of the network. So I think it is time for us to start wrapping things up. And if you're familiar with the show, you know we wrap things up by doing a little bit called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys who are listening or watching live just what kind of geeky and nerdy things we've been getting into, so that maybe, just maybe, we can entice you into checking them out as well. So, random assignment here. We're going to go with Naki first.
So this week, last Sunday, like I said earlier, I finished Undertale, the neutral and pacifist run. I may start the genocide run. I have not decided, just because I really like all the characters. So I'd feel bad murdering them. But I mean, I know Willie is all for me murdering all of the characters.
Execute Order 66.
All right, creepers. It's enough of that.
I get told that by enough women. I don't need it from you, Naki.
And then
Consistency.
on Friday, boyfriend had pre-ordered Cuphead, and we started playing that. Cuphead is really good for Contra players. Just gonna throw that out there. It's really good for Contra players. It is a
Bad
fun
for that
time.
game journalist, apparently.
And bad for that game journalist. But it was a fun time. He even accepted how terrible I am at video games. So my brother actually stayed the night last night, and I think they're going to live stream it. They're going to be playing some Cuphead on the live stream later on. Last night we went to the Blackhawks game because hockey season is starting up. I'm super excited. It was the last preseason game against the Bruins, and we won. Woohoo! And then Thursday starts the first actual game of the seasons against the Penguins. So for those of you who are unaware, I am a hockey nerd, and I'm really excited for this. So because it's my sports. My sports is back.
Go
Yay.
Islanders.
Oh God, why? But why though, Willie?
I don't know. I don't watch hockey.
He said that just to make you say that.
Oh God, why? Yeah, and then today I'll probably be playing some sort of video game. I just don't know which one yet. I started playing Borderlands 2 on Steam. I don't know why. I've played that game so many times, but I own it on Steam,
you
so I
love
might
it?
as well play it. So there's that.
Don't play with Naki. She gets you killed a lot.
No, I'm a level 7 right now. I can't get you killed, really.
Yeah,
Did you
she'll
say
still
Willie?
do it.
I said really, not Willie.
Oh, okay. I get that confused a lot.
It's fair. That's all that I got.
So I will
Back
go
to you,
next then. We'll start out with, I touched on it earlier, I've come to really enjoy the Orville right now. So if you've been on the fence, I'd say give it a try, but bear in mind, it doesn't actually get good until the 3rd episode. The first 2, I think they're still trying to find their way. Other stuff I've been getting into, rewatching Battlestar Galactica because the girlfriend's never seen it, so we just got to the beginning of Season 3. And for those that are aware, Season 2 ends on a pretty decent cliffhanger, so it's fun to go and rewatch some of that stuff. Other things I've been getting into, Cuphead came in, I played a little bit of it on Friday, and then got distracted because I picked up another game. This one's on my Switch, I teased at the top of the show, which is one of my favorite games I've bought recently. It's a little indie game called Golf Story. Have any of you guys heard of this one?
Is it
No.
a story about golf?
It is an RPG game about golf almost. Pretty much golf. And it's a little 2D kind of game, and you basically got to aim your golf ball around. There's a power meter and an accuracy meter. But it's an RPG about playing golf, and it's charming. It's fun. There's an interesting little story to it. And for $15 on their eShop, I've had a lot of fun with it. It's like #1 on the North American eShop right now, which I think is kind of
Paid
cool.
for that?
Yeah, it's actually really fun.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, it is a really cool game. So if you have a Switch, I would say go and check out some video footage, some reviews of it.
I mean,
It's
I
fun.
don't.
I know you don't, Willie. I figured you were going to mock me because it was about the Switch.
But I mean, that sounds like a fun game. RPG golf. That sounds something new and unique, and I wouldn't mind trying it.
Exactly. So now everyone's going, ooh, I wonder what they're going to make next. And the only real slight with the game is it's kind of buggy in places. But what's really cool is if you go on the Nintendo Switch Reddit, there are people there that have been capturing all of the bugs. They forwarded it to the developers, and the developers sent them a big thank you for putting it all in one Reddit thread, all of the bugs they'd found, and said we were already in works of getting a patch out that will go out through the eShop soon. So
Actually, the big problem I have with it is that I can't go look at the reviews or anything or people playing it because, Nintendo are dickbags.
that's true. They might not have it online to watch. I forgot about that.
So I can't. It could be a cool game. I don't know. I can't see it. Thank you, Nintendo, for being little dickbags. Get your head out your ass.
And then the last game I've been playing is I talked about Fortnite last week. We talked about how the Fortnite Battle Royale mode was coming out for free on Tuesday. I played a little bit of Fortnite Battle Royale, throughout the week, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's not as polished or refined as PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. There's no vehicles and stuff yet, but it's still really fun. And when you make it so there's only 10 people left on that island, the adrenaline starts pumping, and you're like, oh my god, how are we going to do this? And then inevitably I get shot, and I'm like the 9th person left, and someone else wins, and it's depressing there. But if for a free game, yes, I said free, it's a lot of fun. So go and check out Fortnite's Battle Royale mode on Xbox, PlayStation 4, or PC. It is 100% free, so give it a try.
Yeah, sorry we couldn't accidentally play together, Chris.
Yeah, they haven't broken it again yet. But Willie, I know you've been playing that. What else have you been getting into, and what are your thoughts on the Fortnite Battle Royale?
Well, I do want to hit on that. When you say 100% free, you ain't lying. Like, you don't need, well, I'm not sure about Xbox Gold. I'm guessing you don't need that to play online with that. But with PlayStation, you don't need PS4 to play it. You can play it online because if you did have to have it, then it's not free to play. So it ruins the whole idea of free to play. So there you go. The thing they do need is some voice chat, though. Because if you just jump into a random squad of people, you can't talk with them. You don't know, like, hey, are we jumping out now? I don't know. That's a big problem with it. But I mostly play with people I know, and we're already in a voice chat through the PlayStation anyway. So we kind of figure this shit as we go. I went to my first Renaissance fair yesterday.
Ooh, how was that?
You did it. Did you eat a giant turkey leg and feel like a king?
I ate a giant greasy turkey leg, and it was all right. I mean, it's like, I did it. I did the thing. I feel better now. There was better food stuff there.
Like so.
But like, oh man, I had a portobello mushroom sandwich from there. Oh, it was so good.
I love portobello mushrooms.
Frozen apple cider.
Ooh.
It was so good. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. Still playing Final Fantasy 9. Still fun as hell. And I've just been enjoying my week off. All my legal troubles are now over, except for I got another court date for Tuesday. So yay! But everything's taken care of. I was going to him say, "Here's my thing. Just take care of it, and it's done." So yay!
Willie, there's no Blitzball in Final Fantasy IX. You need more Blitzball.
I do need more Blitzball, but that's why I got Final Fantasy X for. It's always there. I can go to that next.
That's true.
And then I can laugh about it.
The wind sure is nice.
Perfect.
That's exactly how that went. I was watching Boyfriend Play 10 and I was like, what just happened? Titus and Luna were just on a boat and they're like, and Luna was like, the wind sure is nice, and Titus was like, yeah, and then they just started laughing and I was like,
yeah, it's a little weird, but it's still not the infamous laughing scene. Still not that one, but just as bad.
There's so many.
What?
No, I'm done. I was just muttering to myself.
I was like, that didn't seem like a full. There's so many
dicks and meows everywhere.
Dicks and meows?
Apparently.
Did you seriously forget this already?
Yeah, we had that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. There's a whole episode title partially.
Dicks and meows. Dicks and meows.
And I'm done. Go ahead, Bachman.
Bogman, wrap us up then.
All right. I'm drawing stuff, so I don't have time for video games, which is sad. I've passed the halfway point on the Kickstarter rewards. I've got, I think, 9 of the 17 Jedi Black and White ones completely drawn, inked, and sent out. And the rest are now all in some form of sketch. They've either been laid out or fully sketched and are ready to be inked. And I've started doing the sketches for the I can't remember the Sith Lord, I think was the color ones. So those I've only got like 6 or 7 to do. There were a lot less of those. But yeah, so I've started sketching on those and getting those done. And then yeah, today starts Inktober. So I got all my Rick and Morty stuff together. Thanks to Chris's suggestion, I decided to make it a fun Inktober. So instead of doing like crazy detailed video game artwork like I did last year, I went and got me volume 1 of the Rick and Morty comic for reference material, which was actually a really funny read. There's another there's a summer camp Scary Terry story in here that's really good. And then yesterday, my Amazon package arrived just in time. And so I now have the biggest fuck art of Rick and Morty, glow-in-the-dark cover, hardcover art of book. This thing is freaking huge. And wow. It's fantastic. And it's got all the promo art. It's got references to basically everything in the first 2 seasons. And then in the back, what was really cool is they have pictures from the writer's room. And they also have the original designs for, what was it called? Doc and Marty. The original stuff that they got the show off of. So yeah, it's got all sorts of stuff in it. It's freaking 220 some odd pages, $40. But yeah, it's awesome. It's one of the coolest art books I've ever bought. And I'm so super happy that showed up on time. And yeah, fun. I've been keeping up on Rick and Morty, which because Chris had mentioned it earlier, I wanted to check there. I did find an article stating that Rick and Morty is coming back for season 4 after tonight's finale of episode 10, where apparently Dan Harmon had said they had meant to do 14 this season, and basically him not keeping up with stuff, they only did 10 this year. But he believes with what he's learned, they will be able to do 14 episodes next season. And I also found the article said that the 3rd series will end with the Rick Turian Morty date on October 1st on Adult Swim before dropping on Netflix a week later. So in a week, all of Rick and Morty apparently is coming to Netflix.
That's surprising because
that's awesome.
Also been news of the week.
Hulu had the exclusive.
Yeah, I didn't know that was coming. Yeah, but I mean, unless this article's wrong, but yeah, it says they're bringing everything to Netflix a week later. So that's freaking fantastic.
So see the next season of Rick and Morty in 2020 probably.
Yeah, no, that's the problem.
Yeah, Dan Harmon does like vodka a lot, so it slows him down some. But hey.
Oh, Dan Harmon was on the latest episode of Film Theory.
Yes, he was.
It was on a Rick and Morty one.
Yep,
nice.
Check that out.
I just watched that last night.
Oh,
it's
yeah. I got 31 sketches planned out, so I'll be doing Rick and Morty for Inktober. So yeah, that'll be on my Instagram, which reposts to my Twitter, which reposts to my Facebook. So yeah, if you're following me anywhere on social media, you'll see it.
So you'll see a repost of a repost. It'll be all good.
Yep. Lots and lots of Rick and Morty.
Well, cool. So stay tuned to all of Anthony's social media for Rick and Morty explosion. I was going to try and do a riff, but I can't do it right now.
Or his Rick post.
For all of my wubba lubba lub dub goodness. Motherfuckers.
You should tell Google, you just trailer your Google device and say wubba lubba dub dub and see what it says to you. Take that as your advice as something fun to do. But hey guys,
should I do it right now?
If you
my
want
new
to.
Google Assistant.
If you want to.
Okay, Google. Wubba lubba dub dub. Are you in pain? How can I help?
That's awesome.
I told you guys. So looking at the time, we did run late today. We gave you guys an extra long show. You guys have any final thoughts for us as we start wrapping things up? Anyone?
Dicks and meows.
All right. Anyone else?
Fuck Nintendo and that one game journalist.
It's about video game ethics, Willie.
It's about ethics and
if there's
games journalism.
anything I learned
Damn.
about ethics is that I'm a master because I'm always ethically first. So fuck that game journalist.
Oh, Jesus.
You mean like you were with Anthony's Kickstarter?
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
First.
Here we go.
Ethically First.
Actually, didn't the first backer just get his package? I'm pretty sure I
That's
mailed that out last week.
Pretty sure Chris already got it.
I haven't checked my mail in like a week, I'll be honest.
Well, it should be in there.
How do you not check your mail for a week?
Because I get the email from the post office every day that shows me all the letters that are in there. It doesn't show me packages. That's where the things
Don't
are
you have a
flawed.
mailbox?
It shows you, like, they
Yeah.
send pictures
You
of
can
your
do
mail.
informed delivery. It sends you a scanned copy of everything that's coming in your mailbox minus packages. So I
Oh,
don't
wow.
always bother
That's-
going to go down to my mailbox. Well, if we talk, you guys run late every week. I try.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
tries to run late every week.
Chris tries to shorten it up. I try to run late every week.
Yeah, so
Exactly. That's what our job is.
it is in fact our job. So guys, I think
And
we
we're
are
still
gonna
talking.
we're gonna get out of here now, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ethically first. Ethically first. Ethically first.
Welcome to Inktober, bitch.
Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.